Okay, welcome back to the podcast. Hopefully, this time the mics are picking up. We had an audio problem last time, and hopefully, we got that taken care of and we don't have an issue. Let's get straight into this. This is week 4 weight loss update, our weight loss update, and on our 12-week program, I unfortunately weighed a little bit more than I weighed last week. I'm going to blame it on inflammation because on Friday I added abs in, and I don't normally train my abs on Friday, so training my back plus my arms and then my abs. Last week my weight was 218 on the dot. This week my weight is 218.6, which Friday I was actually 218 on the dot. Saturday I woke up, I was 218.6. So sleeping in 2 hours later, I was still up 0.6 of a pound. So I know that it was just inflammation. Now, Granted, I carb load on Saturday, Sunday, so I know that my weight was obviously going to go up on Saturday after Saturday and Sunday. So it is what it is. I'm not upset about it because the week before I lost 3 pounds, so it's still a pound and a half on average. So
nice.
For me, I was 155, and then this week I was 153, so 2 pounds.
Nice.
that's good.
Thank you.
I was, let me refer to my notes, 202.1 last week, and this week I'm 201.6, so an entire half pound down.
Awesome.
And for me, same as the week before, still stuck at 242.8.
So you
3 weeks in a row.
just hit a plateau.
Yep.
Yeah, it'll break. It'll come down.
that.
Yeah, it could just be body inflammation and stuff like that. Like I said, it happens.
Well, like I said, at the start of, at the end of the week, I'm that, and then at the reset of the next week, my weight is lower than where it started out the previous week every week, but I just dwindle back down to the same weight though. So I'm having trouble figuring that out, but I think I figured out a way to help it.
Not eat so many bad things
Well-
on the weekend.
Well, hold on. It also could be because you were on that diuretic, and it could be your body regulating water weight, and that could be an issue. Also, real quick, if y'all see things flying around, it's because we have really horrible mosquitoes right now, and when we open up the door to come in here, they all flooded in
And
with
they
us.
are attacking us.
And they are horrible. So sorry if I'll see a bunch of little things floating around. It's not your imagination. We got a lot of we're in the south, and we're in the Bayou City, so we got a lot of mosquitoes. Okay. Sorry. Is there anything else you want to add to that, or?
No, it's pretty much.
Okay. So talk about the hunger
Diet.
Oh yeah. Diet. Check the script, guys.
You and I know.
Check
it.
the script.
Jeez.
Okay. So diet for me is exactly the same. I'm doing 2 pounds of ground meat a day with 12 ounces of rice measured dry. It swells up to wherever it swells up. I do that 4 times. Intermittent fasting from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. 2,500 calories. And then on Saturday, Sunday, I carb load, whatever you want to call it, because I'm doing carb cycling with that. And I try to get around 3,000 calories worth of carbohydrates. I try to keep my protein and my fat as low as possible. And I try to get my carbs as high as possible, staying within 3,000 calories because on average I eat 2,500. To be completely honest, this weekend I didn't do a very good job of tracking my numbers because I was the lousy excuse. I was fabricating on a trailer all day, and then it kind of went out drinking. So it's just kind of like
You didn't want to write like 10 beers.
Well, I only had 2.
I'm just kidding.
I wouldn't really say we went drinking because we didn't really drink a lot or anything.
We went to hang out and had a drink.
Yeah. So I need to kind of, I kind of need to, I say I need to tighten up on that, but my workouts are still going great. And like I said, my weight was up a little bit before that. So I'm not even going to, we'll see what happens this following weekend. Now, if my weight stays the same or goes up, then I might have to make adjustments to my Saturday, Sunday, and then adjust accordingly. But there's that.
And my diet's the same, chicken and grits, and I pretty much diet 8 to 4.
You pretty much diet what?
I pretty much diet 8 to 4, like
Oh.
my intermittent fasting. I stop eating. I say 4. I try to stop eating around 3, between 3 and 4. Just depends on what time I can get off of a call that I'm on. So that's why I shoot for 8. 8's like my coffee. So really 8 to 4, I would say.
Nice. Mine's still the same. I'm at the very end of my 2-week cycle because every 2 weeks my diet changes. So I'm still at 5 meals a day with 1 free meal. I am not intermittent fasting. Trying to stick to the same calorie count, so which is I think is like 1890. So with my free meal, I try to make sure I'm not going over that. But I think next week I'm going to start intermittent fasting, if
Yes.
I'm not mistaken. So we'll, I think the hunger conversation next week for me will go differently.
Yeah, we are going to make that adjustment to your diet come Monday. We're going to go ahead and drop off that 5th meal, and we're going to condense the 4 meals that you're eating.
4 free meals?
No. No, egg whites and grits for breakfast, chicken,
Sweet potato, green
and green
beans.
beans 2 times, and then steak and asparagus for your last meal. We're going to condense that down to 8 meals. I'm sorry, we're going to condense that down to 4 meals within 8 hours, and then you'll start intermittent fasting from there. And then on weekends, you'll kind of do what I'm doing and get your carbs up on the weekends.
We're doing.
Yeah, what we're doing. So you'll carb cycle on the
INT.
weekend. So you're going to focus more on getting your carbohydrates up within because we're going to drop you down to 1,500 calories a day. And that's going to be 4 meals within 8 hours, Monday through Friday. Saturday, Sunday, you're going to go up to 2,000 calories with 500. Well, you're going to try to get an additional 500 calories, but keep it more carbohydrates versus proteins and fats, because we kind of want to get not your insulin, but like your glucose and glycogen all in your muscles restored, refilled. So you start the week off strong because you're refilled and you have energy, and then your muscles are able to swell up and you'll just feel overall better. And it's a good little mental break too.
And Monday, I'm going to start taking that vitamin and supplement pack that y'all were talking about and on. So I'm going to give that a try also.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting seeing how that follows for you for the next couple weeks to come.
Mine's still the same pretty much too. I have the ground meat and rice. The one change I am going to make though is, like I said, my weight has stalled out for the past 3 weeks, is I'm just going to bring 1 serving of the rice out. So instead of doing 8, I'm going to do 7 and just reduce the calories just through the 1 serving of rice and see what happens with that.
Yeah, that should be a significant change. And that's the thing. Whenever you're so meticulous on your diet and you weigh everything out, it makes it easier to make adjustments, because it's like, instead of just guessing or eyeballing
Eyeballing it.
Yeah, you could be like for me, I do 12 ounces of rice. 2 ounces is a serving of rice. So every 2 ounces is 180 calories. So I know if I want to drop it by 1 ounce of rice, I'm going to be losing at least 90 calories. And that's around like 17.5 carbohydrates. So I can make very minor adjustments from half an ounce to an ounce to whatever, and I can make really minor adjustments to my diet and see how it affects me in the workouts, plus see how it affects me in the long run. And we'll get you there too, so that way we can make these minor adjustments, and then we can see how it affects your bodies, because a lot of people jump around 250 calories a week or per day. So because if you lose 500 calories a day, if you're in a deficit of 500 calories per day, that's guaranteed 1 pound of fat a week. So if you drop it by 250 calories per day, and then you make up the other 250 by exercising cardio, then that's 500 calorie deficit. So you lose at least 1 pound a week. But I like to take things a little bit slower, bringing the diet down, because once you bring the diet too far down, you have nowhere to go but more output. It's like, okay, how far do you go? Do you go down to 1,000, 900, 700 calories? Then how much time are you going to spend doing cardio and working out? It just becomes unrealistic. So when it gets to the point where the calories get too low and the output's too much, then it's like, okay, pump the brakes. Let's reset. Let's go on a maintenance and then a minor bulk, and let's try to pick your calories back up. Try to keep your body weight as close as we can to where you're at. Gain a little bit of weight, but not much. I hate to use this phrase, but people they call it reverse dieting. So basically what you'll do is you'll undo what you did in the opposite direction. So instead of going from 1,500 calories, you'll slowly build your calories up to 2,000 to 2,500, doing more output. And then what you'll do is you'll try to reduce the output by reducing the cardio. When you hit, let's say, 2,500 calories, then you'll reduce the cardio down, try to stay at 2,500 calories, let that become your new maintenance and not gain any weight, or at least as little as possible. And then you'll start pulling the calories back out very slowly and increasing the output. And then now you have 1,000 calories to work with back down to 1,500, but you have more muscle mass. Because in that whole process, you're trying to gain more muscle mass while keeping your body fat as low as possible. So now you come back down to 1,500 calories, but with more muscle and less fat. And then you build back up to 2,500 calories with more muscle and less fat. And you do that, like I said in the previous podcast, you go in waves. You cannot continuously push one way. Or the pendulum swings. You can't stay at one end. It's always going to swing, and you have to make the proper adjustments.
I will say that half pound was so disappointing this week, right? But doing my workouts, that's what I'm gonna think about. Okay, I only made it to 9, trying to get to 12, and I'm like, oh, that half pound.
Yeah. Well, and then focusing on the progress in the gym makes a big difference too, because it's like, I may not saw it on the scale like I wanted to, but look at how much my numbers moved up.
Yeah.
Look at how much stronger I got. Look at how many more reps I got, or how much more weight I got. And that's a guaranteed etched in stone representation of your progress. Because the stronger you get, the bigger you get, the more muscle mass you carry, the more calories you burn naturally.
Yeah.
So it's never nothing to be upset about. What's the next? It's hunger, right? Another script here. Hunger. All right. So my hunger is good. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm good on hunger. Like I'm a little hungry.
I say Wednesday is kind of when we start to kind of talk about it, but
Right. So Monday, Tuesday, not an issue. Wednesday, it starts to creep in. Thursday, it's kind of like it's there. It's not going nowhere. Friday, it's just like
The worst.
yeah, it's just non.
Because you're so close to Saturday.
let's just go to bed because when we wake up, we get to have fun things.
Yeah. So like I said, Thursday,
6
Friday.
o'clock. Let's go to bed.
Yeah, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, it's like, I'm done with the workout. It's gonna be
Time for
about
bed.
30. So, but like I said, Friday is a nonstop, like onslaught of just constant hunger through the roof, and that's why. Okay, I know why my weight was up on Saturday, but at the same time, it's just like this is unbelievable for how hungry I was all day Thursday, Friday. I was like, man, I'll be shocked because on 218 on Friday, and as hungry as I was on Friday, it's like there is no way I'm not going to be at least 217. I've got this pound. This pound is in the bag. It's mine. Then I wake up like 218.6. What? So,
Yeah.
but I know what it is, so I'm not upset about it and stuff like that. But it does kind of feel like, what was the point of all that hunger if the freaking scale is even
You
going
can
to
only know
move?
how that conversation went. Well, maybe if I should just start eating more protein and do this and do that. It's like, no, it's working. You look different, you know.
Yeah.
And you could also be putting on muscle mass too. Like you might
Yeah.
not really see the scale move because of a good thing. Like,
Well, I'm pretty sure I am putting on some size because I'm getting a lot more rest. I'm training a lot harder, but I'm getting more rest. We'll get into that a little bit further into the podcast and stuff. So we'll switch it to
are you
your
cutting me
hunger.
off? Okay.
No, I'm not. I'm giving you the mic to talk about
No,
yours.
I know. My hunger, like I said, is pretty much we kind of start talking about it and mentioning that we're starting to feel a little hungry Wednesday. But Thursday, it's like, from Wednesday to Thursday, it's like super bad. There's like no like soft point where it's just gradually, no, it's just like, and then all of a sudden I hate it. And then, and then Friday
I
is,
hate it here.
I do. And then Friday's really hard because it's like I think it's the mind knowing like, okay, so I just
That you're
after
right
today,
there.
I'm right there, and then it's so weird because we could be in the living room and we're struggling so bad, and then the mom will just go to the room, like our room. It's like all of a sudden, it's okay. It's like I know, like okay, I don't eat my room, I don't eat my bed, so it's like
It's like a safe space for hunger.
yeah, it's weird. And then also maybe because I just don't smell the kids' things, and I just
Yeah.
know the snacks are all right there. I don't know.
It's kind of like, I don't, a little nerd moment here, but on Lord of the Rings, when Gandalf stands on the bridge of Khazad-dûm, you shall not pass.
At the doorway to the
Yeah.
bedroom.
Yeah, it's like there's like a little,
right.
little
You're in
That was a nerd.
Well, as I said, it's like a little wizard of protection there on our hunger levels when we cross that
The
threshold
threshold.
of Khazad-dûm.
I liked who you were about like a minute ago. What about you?
My hunger hasn't been bad. I feel like I'm still like struggling with cravings, but hunger wise, no. But again, I think all that's going to change next week.
And comes
Yes.
Richard with his "I'm not hungry."
I'm never hungry.
Well, no, I still haven't got to the point where I've had to experience any hunger yet.
Real
but
quick, pro tip on dieting: an easy hack to not get hungry when dieting is to always eat before you get hungry.
I'm not hungry because I eat before I get hungry.
yeah, like I'll see how it goes though with removing just the one serving of rice and see what that changes.
See if that makes you hungry.
Because even the one serving of rice, only the 45, like it's 45 grams of rice from, like, because you measure it in the ounces, I measure it in the grams. It's just how we do things. But yeah, like 45 grams of rice, but it fluffs up once it's cooked to a lot more volume. But so removing that out of the day or whatever, it might give me some sort of
Because
effect.
serving, he takes one little grain
So
out.
I'm wondering if the reason why you're not
Still no
experiencing hunger
change.
now, I don't know 100% on this, but going off of just like logically exploring and researching, I'm wondering if you have insulin resistance. So when you eat the jasmine rice or white rice, whatever rice you're doing, it hits the liver and then it goes into the bloodstream and it elevates your blood sugar level. Then the pancreas releases insulin to open up the cell to pull the sugar out of the blood. And if you have insulin resistance, what can happen is your pancreas can either have a hard time releasing insulin or your receptors have a hard time absorbing insulin and then it keeps your blood sugar levels elevated longer. So you have that in your system for a lot longer and it doesn't absorb out. And therefore, like you have like a less sensation of being hungry because if you digest it faster, and you absorb it quicker, the hunger comes in a lot more aggressively. So I'm wondering if you might have like a mild form of like insulin resistance, and like fasting would be good for that. Going on 10-minute walks immediately after you eat, but brisk walk, maybe 3.5, 4 miles per hour, which that puts you at like, you know, for the math on this the other day, guys, pretty much if you walk at a brisk pace of 4 miles per hour, you'll walk a mile in 15 minutes and you'll burn about 145 calories. So if you do that after every time you eat, your insulin sensitivity will go up, your insulin resistance will go down, and it'll probably actually help your digestive system. So you actually start absorbing it more and feeling that hunger between meals. Now, I'm not saying that you want to be hungry, don't you? No. So it's great that you're not hungry because it keeps you from wanting to cheat on your diet. But I'm wondering if that might be a reason why you're not experiencing.
I've never really had any issues though with like the weight loss portion though. Like going from where I started when we like a little over a year ago now to this point, like the weight loss has never really been an issue. Like I've gradually lost weight, and like I said, like when the week kind of rolls back over to the Monday, my weight is down from what I was at the previous Monday, but it's up from the weekend. That's understandable.
I feel like I found the problem.
But like if I go
Weekend.
It's the weekend.
it's like once I go through doing like my meals before, I've always had that hunger, like even with intermittent fasting and even with not intermittent fasting. But the meals that I've always done before for like a vast majority of the time have been much smaller. I don't think so if I'm overeating, I'm getting far more of the calories than 2,500. But when I'm doing the meals that are just like, they're okay meals and I'm eating them and the hunger's not really kicking in because I'm just like, on the meal, it's one of those things of like, I can eat a lot less, and I get the hunger. But if I eat more of it, then I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good. Like, I don't really, like, I'm satisfied. So if I don't eat, I'm not disappointed.
Well, if that's the case, then how come on the weekends you don't just continue to diet, eat better things, and maybe you'll see your weight go down if you're not experiencing hunger? The whole point with being hungry for us is that's why we enjoy the weekends, is because we're hungry and we have cravings. But if you're not really hungry, you should just diet the whole weekend. You'll probably see a big difference.
And hunger is an indication that the body's pretty much like it's utilized all its stored energy. So like the glucose and like the blood sugar and the food that you eat. So once you start running low on your actual like food energy, your body starts sending hunger signals to say, hey, we're running low. The liver basically starts running low and say, hey, we're running low. We need more. So get us more. So if you're not even experiencing that, then I mean, you're far from depleted and stuff like that. But like what she said, like, because if you're not, because you said it last time in the podcast, you said like, you know, on the weekends, I don't even get hungry. The only reason why I go to eat, like if I had my food ready, I would just eat my food, but I don't have it ready and I'm not hungry. So when people invite me to go eat, I just go eat, and because it's good food, I just kind of eat a lot of it. So why don't you just stick to your diet through the weekend? And then if someone does invite you to eat,
Great idea, Justin.
well, and if someone does invite you to go eat, just eat one meal and portion control that.
So over the past couple of weekends, like I haven't been overeating in that same way. I've been controlling it a lot more. That's why, like I said, every weekend I'm lower than I was the previous week.
Well, on Monday.
But yeah,
your Monday weight. So okay,
yeah,
so
like everyone's weight here goes back up on Monday or whatever, or like after the weekend, and my weight is progressively lower than what it was the previous Monday.
Right. So I get what you're saying.
Like
So
I'm eating
So
less.
let me explain. Hold on, let me explain it. Let me explain a little bit so people, because it's kind of almost confusing the way you said it. Okay, so as week goes by, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, your weight falls like normal to the weekend. Then you eat Saturday, Sunday, and your weight increases like ours do. But the difference is on Monday, your weight is always lower than the previous Monday.
-2.
Right. So so is mine, but like it's higher than it was on Friday, but it's lower than
Right.
it was the previous
The
Monday.
Monday
But
before, yeah.
yeah,
Like week over week, your progress.
My Mondays are always lower.
Right. So, but your
Yeah.
weight never drops on Friday. So, like my weight is always the same on Friday as it was the previous week, and it's always lower on Saturday, except for this week. Normally, my weight falls from Monday to Friday, and I'm back where I was on last Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, if I confused you, okay. So, what my lowest? Okay, hold on. My lowest weight on Saturday is where I'll be next Friday. So like if I eat on Saturday, let's say my weight is 220 on Saturday, and then I eat my carbs Saturday, Sunday. My weight's going to be up on Monday. My weight falls Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. What my weight was on Saturday is what my weight will be the next Friday. And then Saturday, I will be down
Even-
from
even
where I was
lower.
last Saturday.
Gotcha.
His weight plateau. So my Friday is like his Saturday. But the difference is on Monday. So he never sees the scale drop on Saturday, but he sees it drop on Monday.
Okay.
There's a big difference.
Yeah.
And that's a whole lot of Monday, Saturday, you know.
I know. So I was like,
Well, mine changes. I guess I'm just awesome. I guess I don't know. 'Cause-
Yeah, but
Obviously.
typically my weight has gone down
Hashtag built different.
in relatively the same form. My weight's gone down. So from Saturday to Saturday, my weight drops down gradually. Or well, from Monday to Saturday, my weight drops down gradually, and then Saturday I'm at my lowest weight typically, and then over the weekend, kind of free range, eat whatever, and then Monday my weight's back up some, but I'm lower than I was the previous Monday,
Right.
and then it drops back down. Except all that's happening this time is I'm dropping back down, and I'm hitting the same exact weight, and I can hit that weight in the middle of by Friday I can hit that weight. Saturday it's still the same. I don't really drop down, and then it'll go up a little bit over the weekend again, but then come Monday again, I'm still down lower. Like I'm right there at like 250 after the weekend or whatever. And I was at the start of y'all started the week before me because I came in late, but at the start of it, I was almost 253. So I'm down like 3 pounds at my Monday start, but I'm hitting the same low weight come Saturday. I come down from wherever I'm at, I come down to 242.8. So I'm just trying to figure out just how to get that to work itself back out. And then when I was
We literally just spent 6 minutes saying the same
Yeah,
thing back
yes.
and forth, repeating
and
it
then
like
when I
Yeah.
was living
Thrilling conversation.
Sorry about the repetitiveness.
When I was living,
leave a comment.
say the word.
repetitiveness.
There it is.
And then when I was living across the street, I do my meals Monday through Saturday, and then Sunday I would kind of just figure it out, sort of things. I was going to go grocery shopping and everything else anyway, and then cook my meals for the following week. Now my living arrangements has changed, so I have options on the weekends. So when it comes to making the food on like the Saturday, if I make them, I could eat them, yes. But there's still the possibility that if I make them, I may not eat them, and then it just throws off my meals for the rest of the week.
Okay, but why would you not eat them though? If you're not hungry,
Because there's better options.
No, but the thing is though, if you're not, if
But
you're
it
spending,
also-
hold on, let me get my thought out there. If you're spending all week dieting and working out and training, and the whole goal is to lose weight, and you do have a goal. The goal is I know it when I'll see it, right? That's your goal. I'll know it when I see it. And then you wake up Saturday and you're like, oh, I'm not really hungry, and I would normally eat at 7, 10. 11 and 3 or whatever your times are, and I could do that, but instead I'm not going to eat because I'm not hungry. But the second someone invites me to go overeat, I'm going to go overeat. Why don't you just wake up and be like, all right, you know what? It's 8 o'clock. I would have ate at 7. I'm just going to start eating at 8 and push my hours by whatever. And if no one invites me to go eat by my last meal, I'm just going to wait till Sunday to have a cheat meal and then continue Sunday and the Saturday out. And then Sunday wake up. Then if someone invites you, then be like, okay, yeah, we can make plans for that. Or someone invites you Saturday night, but well, I've already hit my bills. So why don't we go out Sunday and we'll do something Sunday. That way you have an additional day of dieting, and that might be what you need to push your calories to where you need to be low enough to be able to see those results.
But even my Saturday, when I wake up Saturday, I don't eat till probably 12, 1.
Okay, so
2
then why
o'clock.
don't you diet till from 12 to 8 p.m. or from 1 to 9 or from 2 to 10? Why don't you just push the diet back? So that way if people invite you to go eat, you're like, oh, no, I'm cool. I got my diet. I'll see you when you get back. Or if you go do activity, you can be like, okay, cool. I'm not going to eat because I'm going to eat my meal. And then we'll just hang out with you, because that's what I did on that chicken and rice. We went to the water park and I'm eating chicken and rice on the tailgate of the truck cold. It's like, yeah, we could go do stuff. I'm not going to go eat, but my goal is this, and I have a goal. And to me personally, like if I'm spending all week dieting and eating structural and I'm not seeing the results that I want, I'm changing something to see. And I know you said you're going to reduce your carbohydrates, but like I'm going to button up that blouse. It's just kind of like I got too much air draft coming in here, and I'm not having the shape that I want. So I got to move some things around.
But again, like I said, it's one of those things of the biggest change that I made is I went from eating before like roughly somewhere between 1,200 to 1,500 calories, and then at the start of this, I bumped that up to 2,500. When I was doing the 1,200 to 1,500, somewhere in there, on just like the 3 meals a day sort of thing, Monday through Friday, and then doing whatever I wanted on the weekend, my weight continuously fell every week.
So go back
It's just because, like, I'm pretty sure it's just because I upped the food, but I upped the food because the workout changed as well. I don't want to be that low on the food trying to do the workouts we're doing right now. So if I'm breaking even, I'm not terrible right now. If I pull out just a little bit and I get a change out of that to where I drop down just a little bit, then I'm making progress and I'm fine. Like, I'm not, yeah, I'm not going to like push it too far.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Okay, so that's segue because that's about 15 minutes of just back and forth on that. Okay, so since my program changed, my diet has stayed the same, but recovery is also one of those big things. We touched about active recovery last week, and we'll talk a little bit about recovery. I've noticed that my recovery is actually it's pretty good. So I'm working out 3 days a week, and I figure with the way that I'm training, my soreness would be kicking in for my legs because I train my legs like a madman on Mondays. So I figure Tuesdays, they kind of have like a numb soreness to them where I know it's coming and then it's not quite hit yet. Then come Wednesday, it's going to be all full force belligerent soreness. But to be honest, this week I didn't really experience any soreness with anything. Like I didn't have any leg soreness, no chest soreness, back. Every single thing that I worked out this week, as hard as I worked it out and as much as I trained it, I experienced zero soreness, and I'm going to chuck that up to having a day off between lifts. My biggest issue, I think, was every time I power lift, I was in the mindset like I have to eat to be strong, and I got to eat enough. So I'd eat 6, 7, 8, 9,000 calories a day, sometimes 12,000 calories a day. And then I'd work out 3 days a week. Don't get me wrong, the workouts are incredibly brutal, but it's just an eye-opening realization. Like, I definitely was overeating a massive amount of food that I did not need for the recovery of the workouts I was doing, and I probably could have done a lot more with a lot less food. Yeah, the hunger is going to be there, but it doesn't mean that I'm not recovering. Like, if the recovery slows and the soreness is intense, then it's like, okay, yeah, probably need to eat a little bit more. But I always chalked it up to like, okay, well, I'm not getting sore because, I'm eating enough food. But now eating 2,500 calories and doing the same workout, I was now, okay, to be fair though, to play devil's advocate, I'm not pushing the same loads that I was pushing previously, because whenever I was bigger, eating more out, my deadlifts were in the mid 5s for reps. My squats were in the 4s for reps. My benches were in the 3s for reps. And right now I'm not even touching nowhere even remotely close to those same numbers. So when I was doing belt squats for sets of 20, it was with 455 pounds. Now I'm doing belt squats with like 275. So the numbers aren't even a reflection of what I was lifting. But I think for my body weight being 218 versus 270, 2,500 calories versus 6,000 plus calories, I figured the recovery would be worse right now, even though the loads are less because of the calories, but it's not. My recovery's on par. So I'm just kind of like, okay, how far can I take 2,500 calories with the way that I'm training? As long as I'm seeing forward progress in my training and my numbers are going up and I'm progressively getting stronger, I don't see any need to change the intermittent fasting or the food that I'm eating, the amounts. As soon as my recovery slows and as soon as my recovery gets to the point where it's like, okay, I'm not sore until 2 days later, then it's time to do something to help the recovery. Now, we talked about active recovery, moving around, and I do that. I go bike riding, I go walking, I do a lot of stuff.
Are you doing yoga?
Yes, I do yoga. I do yoga twice a week. I do it on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then I go for walks and bike rides. So I'm active on the days that I don't train. So that's not an issue as far as it goes for getting blood circulation and everything else. But like I said, my recovery is pretty good right now. But the second that it slows down and I stop seeing progress in the gym, then it's going to be time to be like, okay, I need to adjust the food because the recovery is not there on par with what the loads are and what my body needs for nutrients, for requirements to continue to progress. So that's where I'm at in my recovery. And I'm honestly surprised at how well my body is recovering from this with how little calories. If you would have told me, oh no, you could train like this on 2,500 calories and you're not going to get sore, I'd be like,
The other thing a lot for it with you too is what you're eating. Because remember the chicken, you were just having the hardest time. I told you your body reacts so much better to red meat, and I kept trying to make you change it, but you wouldn't listen to me.
yeah, red meat definitely does a lot better for me.
I feel right in there.
Sure.
And listen to me.
Sure.
My recovery is good. I feel like I do feel like the time I get the most sore is after legs. So I don't know if it's because we like swapped it instead of working out Saturday, we do both parts of our legs on the same day. And it's just like a lot for me still. Are you sore from your legs yet? Or?
Not too bad. I mean, I've definitely felt it, but it hasn't doesn't like stop me from doing anything. Sometimes I like that first workout we ever did, and I could like not walk for 4 days. I think that's if that's my threshold, then I'm solid,
I don't
right?
even know if mine's so much soreness, but like my hips bother me.
I get like cramps in my butt, I noticed, since the last Wednesday
Because you're
leg
working
workout.
it out,
Yes, yes.
What about you, Richard?
Tight hips.
So,
Or you get tight hips a lot.
It's like my literal gluteus maximus gets like
Well,
a
if it's the top
cramp.
of the, if it's the top of the hip, it's a gluteus. That's a gluteus. The glute medius, and then the bottom is the maximus. So if it's the top of the hip region, that's the medius, and that's where the IT and the SI joint is. So there's a lot of tie-in right there. So that could be one of the issues. But if it's, and you could, there's a simple stretch I could show you to help kind of like determine if it's that or the glute maximus. And if it is the glute medius, there's a really easy stretch you can do that kind of like opens all that up and allows it to kind of like relax a little
It is
bit.
every once in a while, it just like cramps, right?
Yeah. Recovery for me has been pretty moderate. Like I haven't had, like the soreness has been there, but it's more of like a tenderness. It's not like before where I had like on leg days, especially quad day, I would have times where after the workout, if I sat down for 20 minutes and then went to stand back up, my like one of my quads would lock up on me. So from the
I just
workout,
get the like jello legs.
yeah, from last week, like I didn't have any of that, but I did like progressively over like Tuesday and then Wednesday. They were just tender, but not anywhere to where I couldn't move around or I didn't want to move around, sort of thing. Same with the chest and then back. Like the only big difference though is like my back and shoulders. Mostly though the back, I can feel like a tightness across like the top after working out, but that fades after like a night or so.
That's good. So you got a little delayed soreness, but it's not like
Yeah, it's
like belligerent. Like 2 days later, like
Yeah.
oh my god, everything's like so. That's actually really good, man. 'cause,
we're
like,
also it's also we're still working into it. So as we
Yeah.
go, like everything's going to progressively get a little bit heavier, a little bit more intense. So like that might change, but we'll see where that goes.
yeah, but where your recovery is for how we're training, that's still good, man. Like I said, like typically if you start to get sore, so if you train in the mornings and you start getting sore in the evening, you're pretty close to where you need to be in recovery. So if you train in the evening and you have soreness in the morning, that's great. If it loosens up throughout the day in the evening, then you're not sore the next day. That's pretty perfect for your output to your recovery. But if it's like a day, like you work out Monday, then you don't feel it till Wednesday, like your recovery is well, you're either doing way too much or you're not eating nearly enough. Or you're not doing accurate. There's something that's missing, and you're not going to really progress that well from that type of overstimulus. And I don't like this overtraining, right? But I do feel like there's a point of diminishing returns, and if it gets to that point, now don't get me wrong, when you first get into working out, and you haven't worked out forever. No, I don't care what you do. You're going to probably be sore not the next day, but the day after, because your body's just like, what did you do to me?
That was me.
Right, and that's me anytime I take a week or two off from training, I get back into it, that's me every single time. But after that first initial week, it's always the day after I have tightness, and then after the conditioning comes, like the soreness is pretty much gone.
I was so nervous for week 2 working out because I was like, if week 1 like killed me, and she's like, I was like, I'm gonna do so much less weight. And she's like, no, do it the same. I promise, it'll be different, and it was, and
Yep.
and now I'm doing
It's
more
gonna be
weight,
right
more
again.
weight. Oh, 2 times in one day.
Yeah, so yeah,
It's gotta be a
That's more
record.
than yesterday.
yeah, and that's the thing, easy. But so like when you first started, we eased you into it. Like
Yeah.
like I told you, look, you're not going to do everything. We're gonna just do one movement. If I remember correctly, I had you do one set of 2 movements and then 2 sets of 1 movement. So you did a total of 4 sets. So like for instance, like let's say your arms. We're like, okay, we're gonna do 1 set of V-bar press down, we're gonna do 1 set of row press down, and then we're gonna do 2 sets of scroll pressures. And that was it. So it's a total of 3 movements, but 4 sets. And that's all you did for your total body. Very little. But it was enough to wreck you, like wreck you for the next couple of days to come. And it's very little that you had to do to start noticing a big difference of like how, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Docile? How much your muscles were in a slumber. Let me put
Yeah.
that. So you woke them up, basically.
Yes.
You woke them up by punching them straight in the face. And they're just like,
My
"Oh."
bedroom is upstairs, and I was like, I can sleep on the couch. And then like all the showers are upstairs. I was like, I don't need a shower. It's
I'll just go
fine.
outside with water.
It's fine.
Please do for us.
I do shower.
All right, so let's put disinfectant wipes on the list. Okay, so let's recover. Okay, next thing, we're at the 34-ish minute mark. So we're going to talk about hard work versus a lot
Is
of
this the
work.
last one?
Yeah, this could be the last topic there because
We need to
we're running,
because
yeah, because we're running
Richard and
into this
his, like,
15-minute back and forth. Okay, so I would say we could save this for a different topic, but I like to get all that out the way. Our personal progress and our feelings. Now let's talk about something to help people out.
We're talking about you.
Hey, yo. Okay, so I think a big misconception in training is a lot of work versus hard work. It's perfect because what we just talked about. There's a big concept of like more is more, and then there's another group out there that says like less is more. So it's like, where do you fall? Like, okay, well, I can work out in 30 minutes with high intensity, and other people are going, oh, you need more volume, and you need longer workouts, whatever else. So like a lot of people like misunderstand like what hard work is, and they confuse it for a lot of them. Like, oh, I spend 2 hours in the gym. It's like, okay, but
What'd you do?
if you're training at 50-60% of everything you do, like, are you really working out hard? If you're doing a lot of sets and a lot of reps, but everything you do is at 50-60%, like, how hard are you really training? I'm not saying you have to train 100%, but what I mean is, if you're doing a set of, let's say, 7 to 10, and you're capable of doing 15, 16, 17 reps, and you stop at that 10 reps, like, well, the program calls for 7 to 10 reps, right? That's the popular 8 to 12, 8 to 12 reps, right? I like 8 to 12 reps, but I don't do the 8 to 12 reps of like, okay, if I get 12, I stop. No, it's you increase the load until you cannot get 8 reps. You want to increase the load where it's you're failing around 8 to 10 reps, and then you stick with that weight until you could get it for a solid 12. And I mean a hard solid 12. Then once you hit that hard solid 12, you go up in weight, which makes it difficult to get 7, 8, 9 reps, and you stick at that weight until you can build back up to around 12 reps. And then you go up. That's hard work. Taking 12 reps and doing 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's a lot of work that you're doing, especially if you're doing, I'm going to do 4 exercises, 4 to 5 sets per exercise, 8 to 12 reps, and that's what your reps are looking like. That's a lot of work, and you're not going to progress very far.
That's kind of just checking the box for how many you've done.
That's going through the motions.
Yeah.
That's just going to, I'm in here, and I'm not speaking about the guy whose doctor told him, hey, you got to get your cholesterol and blood pressure down, and go to the gym. Okay, I have to be here. I'm talking about the people that are like, I want to see change. I'm not in here to just play games, right? I'm not in here for no tomfoolery. I'm in here to make a difference. I'm either wanting to get stronger, or I'm wanting to get bigger, or I'm wanting to get lean, and I'm wanting to get jacked, or whatever. I'm talking to that group of people that are actually in there for true progression. If that is your workout, you are doing a disservice to yourself, and you're not training. You're just in there going through the motions. If you want to see real progress, you have to suffer. And I don't mean like breaking your bones and tendons, but like it's not going to be fun.
No CrossFit.
Now, don't get me wrong. I like working out. I love the suffering. I love the hardship. I love the agony of it. That's exciting to me because I like to see how far I can push myself into the agony and into the suck to be like, okay, now how much am I going to improve from that, and how much further can I push that? I love that. A lot of people don't. A lot of people hit that pain and they're just like, it's burning. I'm done. That's enough. I felt a little bit of discomfort. I'm good. It's like, and if you want to see, like, I just want to be this or that or there, okay, it's going to be hard and it's going to take a long time to get there. And if you're not willing to go through that pain, you're really just wasting your time. Well, I go 6 days a week and, I do all this work. It's like, okay, but what do you get?
Yeah, what do you have to show for it, or
Right. So I think there's a big misconcept, big misunderstanding of what that is, because then you have the high intensity group and they're like, well, 30 minutes, one set. 30 minutes is all you need, one set. But they don't talk about what leads up to that one set, right? It's not just one set. It's never just one set either. When these high intensity guys say, it's just one set. No, it's not. You're not going to do, let's say for curls, you're not going to do barbell curls for 8 reps and be like, that's it, I'm done. It's normally like, well, it's normally like negatives with like, someone lifts it for you and then you try to lower it down as slow as you can until you can't no more, and then you jump to something as a superset, or you do drop sets, or you do rest pause. It's an extended set of a set. So it's like, okay, well, I'm going to do 1 set of rest pause. Well, how many rest pauses do you do? 4. So you're doing 4 sets. No. It's 1 set of rest pause, and then I do a superset at the end of that. Okay, so it's 5 sets. No.
I do like the super.
Right, so do I. But like I said, so there's ways to make it super intense while keeping the volume way down, which is fantastic. But then you also have to know, like, how hard do you have to push on those sets to see results. Like, when you're going to do something like that, you got to get the weight higher. I mean, you could be like, oh no, I use this very slow stretch and then hard contraction, and that's great. But there comes to a point where the load has to increase too. And if you're not increasing the load, you're not going to be progressing. I mean, you could do things to make that weight heavier and harder, but eventually you're going to have to push it past that to that point of uncomfortable, like being uncomfortable to be able to grow and change. And again, I'm not saying like you have to go in the gym with the intent to be like, I'm going to leave this place with 2 dislocated knees. But you have to be willing to hurt while you're in there.
When I feel that burn, I do my knee jerk reaction is to stop or take a break. And I'm like, no, I'm like, feel it. Like do 2 more and just feel it all the way through, and then I take a break because I'm a weenie, but I understand the burn.
What gets me is the breathing. It's catching my breath. So like when I'm on a heavy set of squats or a heavy set of leg press or like belt squats, and like everything's starting to tremble and everything's kind of starting to burn, right? That's great. I'm like, yeah, I'm getting there. This is great. But it's when the breathing and I can't catch my breath, so I can't brace for that next rep. And that's the part that gets me to be like, okay, am I going to risk not being able to brace properly and trying to get this next rep, or do I rack it and call it? Because now the risk of injury is going up
Higher.
because I can't properly brace. So it's just like, okay, am I doing a lot of work or am I doing hard work? It's like, no, I'm doing hard work. Let me sit here for 4 or 5 more breaths. Damn, if it takes me 2 more minutes to finish this set, I'm going to finish this set. And then I catch my breath, I brace hard, I hit it with 100% perfection as best as I can without my form breaking down, and then I rack it. Like, now I know, like, okay, I didn't have another one in me. Like, I know I got that one, but I couldn't have got a single rep more. And I don't want to go to that point of failure where I can't make the lift. I want to complete the rep, but I want to get as close as I can to that envelope of like where my body is just like, okay, we did it. We're done.
Yeah.
You know? And that,
Yeah.
like I said, and I see it, I see a big misunderstanding of it, and I want to clear that up, like, because you can spend hours in the gym. I've called you out.
I was just gonna say that the first few weeks for sure, not this 4 weeks, but we kind of started getting into it even before that. I definitely was just doing a lot of work. I was doing no hard work, but yeah, you called me out. You showed me how to do it. You showed me how to do that last. Is that the superset? The last set, the best set,
Top set.
top set. How to make that one really count with the slow, hold it, push, hold it, slow,
Mhm.
So I'm trying to be really conscious about that, especially when you're in the same room I'm in. And, but tracking my progress has been awesome because I can see that weight like going up each time and the rep going up until I hit 12 is like the magic number in my head.
Right.
But it's like you said, once I can get that good set of 12 at this weight, I know next week I'm going to increase it by 5 pounds, 10 pounds, whatever it is I'm working on.
So that's another thing too. When it comes to pushing yourself hard, like you have to be mindful of your form breaking down. Now, I don't mean like, okay, you're doing a good set of 12, your form starts to get a little loose towards the end of and like 10, 11, 12. That's typically okay. But if right out the gate you look like a scared cat on a Romanian deadlift or a deadlift or a squat, you're folded over, or whatever. Like you're swinging right out the gate on like straight bar curls, like you have to check yourself too. There comes to a point where it's just like you have to know your limitations on what load is a good load and what is too much. And if you continuously try to progressively overload, there comes a point where there's a wall and you're going to hit it, and you cannot continuously go up. So you have to have exercises that you're prepared to change out. So it's just like, okay, I'm doing dumbbell press and I got really far, but now I can't get a full range of motion with the load that I need, and my reps have actually gone down instead of up. Like I hit this weight last week and the week before last, but my
And now
weight
I
has
can't.
progressively gone, our reps are progressively getting lower. What do? Change it out. So it's like, okay, now go to bench press or hammer strength, or go to incline dumbbell press or incline. Change it out for something that's very similar, and then start at a lighter weight, and then build your way back up. Now write down your numbers of where you were,
Yeah.
and then take that next movement as far as you can. And once that movement's plateau stalls out, you peak it out, you max it out. Now you go back to this one, but you don't start where you left off. Go down like 30% from where you left off. Build back up to where you got stuck, and then start to push past that. And then when you hit that number again, you're going to go further. And then once you hit that sticking point again, changing it out to another movement. Now, you can't change, okay, I'm going to be doing close grip bench press and it's stalled out. So now I'm going to go do rope press down. It's not going to carry over.
Yeah.
It's not going to. It has to be in the same realm of what you're trying to progress. There's always going to be a movement that can make another movement stronger, right? And there's going to be a movement that is. It seems like it could do some carryover, but it's going to have zero carryover to that movement. So you have to be mindful of what you're picking out, like a hack squat, a belt squat, a front squat, a low bar squat, a high bar squat. You can use one to build
All
the
the
other,
same
right?
family. Yeah.
But you're not going to use leg extensions to build a squat.
Mhm.
You're just not. It's
Yeah.
just not. A sissy squat, a glute bridges, like you're not going to build your deadlift on those. You're just not. I mean, it's good. I mean, you could develop on those, but it's not going to be what you think. So like I said, it comes to a point where you're going to have to be able to change that out and watch your form and be mindful. Like, hey, how does my form look? How does my technique? And then where's my sticking point? Where's my stall out? Here's my stall out. I'm not progressing. Now it's time to change this out to this, to build up, to go back to that. And real quick, I know we're kind of running a little long. I just want to, like, when you were doing powerlifting with me, what you're doing it again now, your biggest niche was, I don't like the strain. I don't like the strain. It just feels like pressure and straining. I don't like that whenever I do these lifts. I like the feedback of feeling the muscle contract and feeling it burn and feeling that. But the weights that you're using in those movements, don't get me wrong, the loads can get heavy and you can push real hard. But the difference is when you're powerlifting, learning the strain and learning how to fight through the strain and push the strain and getting good at straining. And then that also carries over to be able to push you to be more mentally tough for these other movements that you would be like, okay, well, I feel it on the 17s better than I do in the 20s because it's lighter, I can squeeze. But I am capable of doing the 20s. It just hurts a little bit more. It builds, I believe it builds that toughness to be like, okay, yeah, no, let's get the 22s because I know I can do it with the 22s. If I can't quite get there, I know I can build into that and then I can go to the next step. So I believe it builds that toughness, and I think your mindset kind of it's shifted towards that now. And I think that strain is something that you're ready to push through, and I do believe it builds a lot more character. Like y'all don't like the strain. Like you like the muscle pump and the
I
feel.
didn't know you were speaking for me.
I know you don't because you said I don't like doing that. I don't like that movement. I don't like that. It just hurts. It just feels like pressure.
One of them.
Deadlifts.
No, I don't like deadlifts because that hurts my back because that's scoliosis.
All right, that's true. But
I like
you still do.
to try to do them,
But
but it
you-
hurts my back.
I don't know, but you do. To be fair, you do move into Romanian deadlifts and stiff-legged deadlifts. But for some reason, the actual deadlift off the floor just it kind of wrecks your back. But there's other movements I try getting you to do, and you're like, no.
He's making that happen.
Am I? Well, I'm talking about the main powerlifting movements. I'm not like
I just
bench
don't want to
press.
power lift. Doesn't mean
Right.
I'm afraid of strain. It's just I'm not a power lifter. Okay, I'm dainty.
Fair enough.
I'm dainty.
Okay, fair.
I'm trying to be.
I'll recant what I said. I don't want to put nobody on blast. And you're right. You're not a powerlifter. The strain is not a,
Third time I was right.
Y'all better watch it. We better get off this camera. Something's gonna happen.
I'll tell you what's not going to happen. Dinner. That's not happening. So, but as you go on, and I want to take you to a powerlifting meet so you can check it out to see.
I want to
This
see
is on the
that.
script, buddy.
Oh, no, it's free talk. But like I said, I want to take you to a powerlifting meet so you can see the environment and see the way it is and the camaraderie and everyone like being on the same wavelength of this, like strong. Like, what are you here for? To be strong. We got strong people do strong things. And the best thing about a powerlifting meet, what I love, we're going to end it right after this, is you can have a 110-pound girl lifting 140 pounds in a deadlift and straining, turning red in the face, and nobody cares about the weight in the bar. No one's like, that's nothing. I warm up with that weight. You can even call that a lift, a PR. Nobody cares about the weight in the bar. They just love seeing the strain, the fight, the struggle, the agony of just like, I just want this lift and just fighting to get it up. And everybody that's ever lifted heavy and has fought for that rep knows that struggle and knows that feeling of when you do get it, just that overall, just that euphoric. Yeah, the euphoric feeling of just like, I did it. And then everyone lives vicariously through that person. And then everyone you simultaneously is like, yeah, I know what that feels like, and it's just an awesome thing. That's why I love the
Yeah,
powerlifting
that's
community.
cool. I want to go. I've never been to anything like that. So.
Yeah, so we gotta find something because I know there's a couple in Houston, and I know there's a lot more in San Antonio going on than for the rest of the year. So we're gonna have to find a local meet, or at least something, 2-3 hours away, and then
Yeah.
we're gonna go check it out and everything like that. So we gotta do that because, like I said, it's
Busy.
it's super motivating seeing other people in that mindset of just like,
Yeah. No,
like,
that's
yeah, I
cool.
want this too.
I don't want this to make them.
Why?
Because then he'll want to do it.
Newsflash! I already want
No,
to do
but
it.
you know what I mean.
I know.
Don't put a fire in your tail that doesn't
I
need to be
already, I already
there.
got it though. It's already there. It's already burning
Okay, I'm
hot.
here to put it out.
Burning real hot.
You heard him earlier. He
Richard
was
got some
agony and he so.
But he said he likes
Well,
it.
okay, so I
Yeah,
turn,
so
I
it's
turn,
like explaining to me.
I only record the first thing that we do in the gym for me and Richard, and I turn the camera off because what y'all don't see is Richard's like that little imp on my shoulder, like, "Look, one more meat left in me." Who says you can't get one more PR?
Here comes me
What's
around
up?
the corner. First time I heard.
700's just around.
I've asked that before.
You pull 7, you pull 7, squat 4. All you gotta do is bench 2, and you're 1,200.
I'll take a 1200 PR. I'll take a 1200.
Listen.
total. It's not the best, but I'll take it. It's better than nothing.
It's enough for me that was gonna happen.
Actually, no, it'd be 13. 1,300.
Yeah, I'll be happy with that.
Ah.
Yep.
Pull 7, squat 5, bench 220, 250.
What's in this video? Because just giving ideas.
Ooh, they're implanted.
We'll talk to y'all next week.
All right.
Does anyone else have anything else to say? let me. Anyone else have anything else to say? No? Okay. All right, no, I don't. Thanks for asking.
Okay. All right.
For
Well,
20 minutes, have you told me? Love you, though.
does anybody else have any closing statements? or
Well, what
anything?
I said wasn't enough.
You said it sarcastically in a joking way, so I'm just verifying.
He's the host. He's the host with the
Thank you.
most.
Thank you. Thank you. That's
Sorry,
why I have
sorry.
it. That's why
You can't.
I
You
have,
can't be right a fourth time. You have the tall
I have,
stand.
Well, you weren't right once tonight. so
That's okay.
Is that
I wasn't wrong once either. So
Just no.
no.
All right, guys.
That's it. You got nothing? You're good? Good, good? Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye.